Hey everybody, it's Chris here again with another Top 5. Today's Tuesday. So the theme for today is our Top 5 Under the Radar films. And I'm sure you noticed there's someone next to me. This is my really great friend, Daniel. So we're here actually at his apartment for a Christmas party. Yeah, sorry, not everyone's invited. Anyway, but
if you want to come, you can, but it will be over by the time you watch this.
That's right. So, like I said, today's top 5 under the radar
Christmas movies.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season, right?
Mm-hmm. And you know, most people, when they put up their top 5 Christmas movies, are movies everyone has seen. And their most general consensus Christmas movies. So, we thought, well, Daniel actually thought it'd be a good idea if we did a video on maybe movies that people aren't aware of, or they're under the radar and they don't get enough recognition.
I will say that technically I just said, maybe some under the radar movies. I just pick movies that I want to talk about. So they're not all under the radar, but these are just movies I feel like I have something to say about right now, and that's why I picked them.
That's perfectly great. Mine's different. Mine's a little more like they're Christmas movies. They have Christmas themes. They're movies I want to start incorporating in my Christmas viewing watching. Besides the Santa Claus, Jingle All the Way, and Christmas with Cranks every other time. So.
Oh wow, Christmas with the Cranks. It's like part of the Christmas cocaine series.
Right there you go. That's right. So. Daniel, you're the guest of the show. Let's start with your first film, and then from there I'll bring another one out, and then we'll go switching off.
Okay, not a super under the radar pick, but it's a movie that I actually did not see as a kid, but I came to it as an adult, and it's the Muppets Christmas Carol. And I love this movie very, very much. I love the story of Scrooge, A Christmas Carol. If you want to talk about heartwarming Christmas stories, that's just going to make you sort of rethink your life and maybe think like, well, how can I be a better, kinder person? Well, the Scrooge story is perfect. It's the perfect thing, and this is my favorite version. I can't totally intellectually defend that, but Michael Caine plays Scrooge, and boy, he gives it his all. I mean, he doesn't even act like he's in a Muppets movie. He's acting opposite puppets, takes it completely seriously. He's terrific. The jokes with the Muppets are funny. Like, it's a funny movie, and I like the musical numbers, so I'm just a huge, huge fan of Muppets Christmas Carol. I watch it every Christmas. It makes me really happy. Have you seen this one?
No, I was about to say, wait, when did that come out?
The 90s, I believe.
90s?
Don't kill me if that's not the case. But,
No.
yeah, super fun movie.
Sweet. I've been needing to check out Muppets. Muppets are one of those kind of things I never really grew up with too much.
I didn't either. Like I said, I didn't see this until I was a grown man, and I was like, I still love this movie. Yeah. And yes, I've seen the more prestigious versions of A Christmas Carol, but this is my favorite. So that's my first
checking out. I never hear anybody talking about that. My first pick is going to be You've Got Mail. So the thing about this is it takes place during the Christmas time. It's actually a remake of a movie called Little Shop Around the Corner, I believe.
The Shop Around the Corner.
The Shop Around the Corner. Mm-hmm. Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks, the best duo during the 90s, in my opinion. They also did Sleepless in Seattle, and then Meg Ryan obviously did other films. But this movie I really love, actually more than Sleepless in Seattle. I know my girlfriend really loves that one more. But
Me too.
Yeah. I just love this one more because it talks about like the internet and the early days. It's kind of interesting to see where we started. But I really love the Christmas parts of this film because Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan are competitors for in the book industry during this time, during the Christmas season. And, you know, Meg Ryan owns a little shop, and then Tom Hanks is running Fox and Sons books.
Fox Books.
Fox Books. So, you know, it's during the Christmas time there, and they don't get along, but he still goes, and there's this really great scene where he goes with his niece and nephew to go buy a book. Though her books are a little more overpriced because it's a small shop, he still pays for it, and I always thought, you know, that's kind of fun, and then he rubs his nose a little, there's a little joke in there. But, yeah, I think it's also just a heartwarming movie, and it's a good love story, honestly. Greg Kinnear's in it, and he's pretty enjoyable to watch.
He's funny in it, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just a 90s rom-com that's really great, and I don't know if this one gets talked about as much as, like, Sleepless in Seattle, and I think it's something you should definitely check out if you're in that Christmas season, and if you have a significant other, this is a perfect movie to watch with them.
You know, I'll be honest, I completely forgot that it was a Christmas movie, but now that you mentioned, isn't it a Christmas party they're at when he, like, takes all the caviar?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's supposed to be a garnish.
That's right.
Can I show you something in this?
Yeah.
Really
cool part.
As a bonus DVD, it does include the original The Shop Around the Corner. I seriously considered this as one of my picks because I like You've Got Mail a lot too. This is one of my favorite romantic comedies ever made. Have you actually watched it?
No, completely.
This one I did remember. I feel like it's a little more explicitly a Christmas movie, but yeah, Jimmy Stewart, classic. You should definitely check that out. But they're both really good movies.
Yeah. So that's my pick. So Daniel, what's your next one?
My next one, okay. This one is a bit of a cheat, so bear with me.
There's no cheats on this show.
It's Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight.
No cheat there.
Is it a Christmas movie? No. Does it take place in the snow? Yes. So it's a winter movie. Classic Christmas song, Let It Snow, Winter Wonderland. Those songs have nothing to do with Christmas. They're just about winter. And that's this movie. It's as joyful as Let It Snow, except it's a miserable revel in horrible people. It's honestly one of my favorite movies ever made. I think it is a true American masterpiece. Some people think it's one of Quentin Tarantino's lesser movies. I think it is behind only Pulp Fiction. And every winter, well, I say every, since 2015, it's not old. But every winter, when we get that first heavy snow, I have to watch The Hateful Eight because the snow atmosphere is really heavy, just the cold and the misery of it. Some of the best performances in any Tarantino movie. I love this one in Tarantino's filmography because I feel like it's less referential. I mean, it is inspired by movies like The Great Silence, Great Western in the Snow. But it is so much his own movie. It's not like Kill Bill where it's a riff on tons of things. Mm-hmm. Like, it is his own thing. It is a brilliant, brutal, upsetting, but super fun to watch movie that I love.
I will also say that movie probably has some of the most memorable in his filmography.
Like scenes?
Yes. Yeah, some of the best quotes in that movie, and I think some of the best just characters he's created in his films. So like the Judge with Kurt Russell. The Hangman.
The
Hangman, and then there's Tim Roth's character that's very interesting.
Oh, I know he's the Hangman.
Yeah, he's a hangman, and Kurt Russell is the bounty hunter.
Yeah, John Ruth.
And then the sheriff. Now you got me talking politics.
Walter Goggins.
Character.
Love him. I think he gives the performance in the film.
Yeah, it's a winter film because it brings all types of different people together. Don't you just love the holidays?
Gotta love it.
There you go.
That's my second pick.
Something not as violent, but a strong message is The Apartment on Blu-ray.
Man.
This is a Christmas movie because the entire premise of the movie takes place after a very important Christmas office party. So Jack Lemmon works in this firm, and he owns this apartment that's notorious for him to climb up the ladder at work. He rents his apartment room out to his higher ups, so then they can do infidelities. Yeah, talk about the Christmas spirit. But at a Christmas party, he meets with the receptionist there, who's just started working there. He takes a liking to her, and he's a nice guy, Jack Lemmon's character. And one of his higher ups, mainly his boss, takes notice of her too, and he wants to use his apartment after the party to try to entangle with her. And she says no. She's a strong-willed woman, and Jack Lemmon just decides he needs to change his life and the decisions he's made. And like I said, I mean, that's really the most Christmas parts of it. It does take place during the winter time because of, obviously, it's a Christmas party. And it just, Jack Lemmon turning a new leaf and trying to convince other people of how their actions are going to have consequences and reminding them what's important during that season. And it's Billy Wilder, and who's one of my all-time favorite directors. Honestly, he just saw Double Indemnity the other day, and he was gushing over it. And
it's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Honestly, if you haven't seen a Billy Wilder film, you got to pick up literally any of them, and you're going to be a fan. Whether it's like Sunset Boulevard, The Lost Weekend, Double Indemnity, I really want to check out again because I haven't seen that one in a while.
It's good.
I'm really looking forward to. I want to get Ace in the Hole, which stars Kirk Douglas, which is a Billy Wilder film, and I hear that is just a knockout film.
This is a knockout film. That's a good pick.
This one also was Best Picture, so.
That's true. And aren't you just in love with Shirley MacLaine in that movie? She is so adorable.
And honestly, Jack Lemmon, I mean, he's also in Some Like It Hot, which is another Billy Wilder film. He's just a really great actor in this film, and like his charisma, you'll definitely notice.
Dark Fred McMurray performance too that I love.
He's a monster.
He's so good in that movie. My next pick, another classic cinema like you. It's The Thin Man, starring William Powell. It's a 1934 murder mystery, but really more than a murder mystery. This feels like a screwball comedy, almost more in line and tone with like His Girl Friday and like Howard Hawks stuff like that. It's not a Howard Hawks movie. It is an amazing, amazing movie. The thing I love about this era is that they make movies that are so entertaining by just showing people talk. Like, the dialogue is just so engaging. And, I praise Quentin Tarantino so much for doing that. But back in these days, like, everybody was doing that. Like, movies, that was the norm, and I love it. William Powell is one of my favorite actors from this era. It's such a funny movie. The mystery is fine. Like, it's perfectly serviceable. It's not super interesting. It's the banter between the characters that is so great in this film. And yes, it does take place during Christmas, and I love it.
Why is it called? No, I haven't. But why is it called The Thin Man? It's
You
like
know-
a horror title.
It's really loose. It basically, there's one part where William Powell says, "Oh, so we're looking for a thin man who blah blah blah," when he's trying to figure out, he's like making a point of like, "Wow, his suspect sounds so generic." That's the only reason I can find. But it is a fantastic film that everybody should check out. Yes, I know I have the DVD, but as far as I know, it's not available on Blu-ray. I can't find a Blu-ray release.
That's the exception. That's fine.
This is a great film.
Next one for me, we're taking a little more of a cult hit. Kiss Kiss
Ooh.
Bang Bang, Shane Black. This movie is also Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer. Takes place during it begins at Christmas and it also ends at Christmas.
It's a Shane Black movie,
so
of course it does.
Yeah, I know you. Is it you that really loves this movie a lot more, or is it Seth?
I think it's Seth. I've seen it. I don't remember it very well. It was a long time ago, but I remember it was good.
Yeah, this movie's fun. It's enjoyable. It's Shane Black. Some people I know on Reddit, they kind of call Shane Black like the unofficial director of Christmas for some reason, because other films of him apparently do take place in Christmas, which
I think it's all of them, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
So I had to pick this one up, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and I've actually been wanting to revisit it. So maybe during this holiday season is going to be one of them for me. But I just thought this is like a mainstream one that will be accessible. Please check this film out.
Nice. So here's my super obvious pick. It's Home Alone. Have you ever heard of it? It's a fun movie. Okay, so here's why I picked it. I just recently rewatched it because I showed it to my wife, who's never seen it before. And I think that this movie doesn't get enough credit for how good it is. Fun family comedy, goofy, kid who's too smart for his own good, knocks some bad guys with a bunch of booby traps, right? But it's a really good movie. I just want to highlight 3 things I think are underrated about Home Alone. 1, the score. The score is incredible, and it is so memorable. It's so iconic. It does not get enough credit for that. 2, John Candy. John Candy is in this movie.
Legend.
You know, when I was a kid, of course, the funniest part of Home Alone is the slapstick comedy at the end, right? Now I think the funniest part is John Candy. He's amazing. I love his monologue about how he left his kid in a funeral home for a couple of days and forgot about him. It is such a funny performance. And 3, just the overall story structure. I mean, we praise Back to the Future a lot for how it sets up so many things right away and pays them all off. I'm not saying Home Alone is as good as Back to the Future. It's not, but it does that. Like in the first 10 to 15 minutes, it sets up so much, pays it all off. The script is tight. Not a moment is wasted. The character development is fast and effective. It's a really well-made movie, and it's easy to take Macaulay Culkin in this movie for granted. He's the kid who does the look. He's amazing in this movie. He is a little kid, and his performance is unbelievable. And I love Home Alone. It's great.
And you had a really fun story when you picked that Blu-ray up too, like the Christmas Miracle.
Oh yeah, I wanted to show it to my wife, and I went to Walmart. And I was like, "Do they have it?" They had it left over from Black Friday for $4. So
Very
blessed.
good
It's worth $4 and maybe a little more.
Next one for me, I wanted to just show off one of my Black Friday deals. Most people forget, for Rambo's First Blood. This movie takes place in Christmas when John Rambo comes back. The Christmas decorations are still up on the small little town that he comes back to in the sheriff's office. That sheriff is, for me, like one of the most conflicting kind of characters, because he's such he has reason for wanting to not like John Rambo, but at the same time you can also think this guy's a war hero. You know, you need to take it a little easy on him. And then I don't know if you've even seen Rambo, anybody who's watching, because this movie's awesome. It has such great action. It's kind of a dark movie too.
Mm-hmm.
The tone of it is. So that's why when you think those Christmas themes are really under the radar and under the surface, it's really because it is. It's really about John Rambo coming back from a horrible, horrible experience and just trying to live normal when he gets back, and he just can't. Also, I want to just highlight this film because I just love the Rambo series. My least rewatch actually is Rambo 2, but my most watch is Rambo 3 because it's just over the top. But this is definitely the best one. I don't know. Have you seen Rambo 1 in a while?
Yeah, I love that movie. It's incredible. I think it is Stallone's best performance he's ever given.
Okay, so you're going to notice in the video that the footage kind of changed. The reason for that is we were running late to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, behind the scenes look.
Yeah, it was awesome. Maybe we'll do a video on that another time. But we had to come back and finish. Also, our camera did run out of battery too.
Oh,
We're gonna
talking
go.
about that. Okay.
We're gonna go with the Spider-Man. Well, anyway, last thing about First Blood is that if you're going to watch Die Hard, this is another good action-packed double feature to do. Other than that, let's go on to Daniel's last pick.
That would be a great double feature. My last pick is Batman Returns, which maybe this is a controversial opinion, but this is my favorite Batman movie of them all. It's the darkest one. I think it's maybe the most adult in that it's so bleak. It's set during Christmas, which a lot of people forget that it is a Christmas movie, but it absolutely is. Christmas decorations are a really big part of the very lavish production design. This is a Tim Burton movie through and through, and I just love his vision of Gotham. It is different than in his first Batman movie, and I love Batman in the snow. Like, it's so cool that we get a Batman movie set in the snow. But the cast is uniformly incredible. This is maybe my favorite version of Batman, Michael Keaton in this movie. It's the only Batman movie where the romance actually works. Michelle Pfeiffer is definitely the best female character in any Batman film. But it's dark, it's gross, it's violent, it's sexual. I just love this movie. It's a fantastic Batman flick.
It's kind of weird with this movie. Like, we grew up watching Batman as a kid, and you maybe don't pick up on some of those adult undertones. Maybe. Is that,
yeah, it's one that most people don't like as much as a kid, including myself. When it came out, parents were upset because the first Batman movie was accessible for kids and it was a huge hit. And this one was way darker and maybe got away with a PG-13 rating when maybe it shouldn't have. So parents were upset, and maybe rightfully so, but looking back on it now, I think history has been very kind to this movie, for sure.
Yeah, another under-the-radar one. I kind of forgot when he talked about it, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, it is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and an awesome comic book flick. Love it.
There you go. All right, well, I'm going to go with my last pick. It's kind of going with Rambo because that's Stallone, but it's going to be Rocky. And it's not
Christmas.
And it's not Rocky. It's just going to be actually Rocky 4 because, well, one, it's a really fun movie, but people forget it does take place on Christmas.
I forgot.
Yeah, it literally says, in the trailer, and nobody goes back and sees old movie trailers from time to time, but I get it. But it does say, when's the fight set? December 25th in Russia. And that's the hook for this movie. And, if you haven't seen, this fits perfect right now because if you haven't seen Creed 2, this movie is like the prequel to that in a way because it also explains why Drago and Creed have such a shared history. And honestly, it's a fun movie. Is it the best Rocky movie? No, but it's probably the most fun. And, when you do it with Stallone, you get to see more of him. And he saves the U.S. in the Cold War.
He stops the Cold War.
Yeah, with a really great speech. And also, one more thing about this movie being on Christmas, the kids, his son, are watching the fight, what's going on, and their robot, which is kind of funny at the same time that they have a robot in the 80s, is dressed up with a Santa Claus suit. So,
'tis the season. It's perfect.
It's definitely a lighthearted movie, but you're going to get cool action on it too. And it'll encourage you to see Creed 2 if you haven't seen it, which is definitely one of the better movies of the year.
Yeah, I'm due to rewatch it because I love Creed 2, and I haven't seen Rocky 4 since I was a kid, so I don't remember it too well, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. I definitely didn't remember it was a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Creed 4 is probably the best of the sequels, but how many times are you going to wake up and just say, let's put a Rocky movie on? But well, other than that, that's been our first top 5 for the Tuesday. We did a special one with Daniel since we were here having a Christmas party. But other than that, these have been the Hertastic reviews. I appreciate everyone who stopped by and maybe got some recommendations. I hope this maybe helps you in looking for different types of movies for the season.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. Well, other than that, we're going to take off. We got to go party.